So I use it in my practice to help increase copper peptide and collagen levels to strengthen the walls of blood vessels for patients. So it's actually age reversing in that sense. And people who are prone to getting heart attacks and strokes, I think it's buying them extra time. I
Yeah.
mean, it just makes sense. And we can see patients with spider veins, their spider veins become less visible over 6 or 7 months because they're putting more collagen in that vein wall and making it thicker and more opaque. So these benefits are readily visible. So the positive effects of this, I think, are better than any prescription medicine, that I've seen. So I think it's an ingenious invention.
all these all these amazing phototherapy and photobiomodulation tools. And what ended up happening was I came across these patches at a timely in a timely fashion because my mom's health was starting to deteriorate significantly to the point where her doctors were talking about heart surgery. Now, having spent 30 years in the hospitals, 25 of those in the operating room, I've seen every single complication under the sun, not because of any intention for it, but the nature of the system and intervention. And so I wanted my mom to avoid surgery at all costs. And it just so happened I was introduced to these patches by Diane Hunt, who was a cardiac surgical nurse for 20 years. And she was sharing with me not only stories, but investigations like echocardiograms, if people have heard that term before, ultrasounds of the heart, electrocardiograms, and telling me and showing me people who had been in heart failure, which was one of my mom's biggest problems, no longer, after 8, 10, 12 months, no longer being in heart failure. I have never seen that in my career, and neither had she, being 20 years in the cardiac surgical suite. It was a no-brainer to get started. Absolutely. I prepared my mom to make sure she had patience with it because the body takes time to heal. We live in a drive-through society where surgery, you can have something done overnight, it changes. With pills, sometimes overnight it changes. And we think that's how things should work. But our body has an intelligent design and it knows what to do. It knows how to do it, but it takes time.
That were really, really sick. I remember a lot of them would come see me and they'd need 20 refills. And I thought, God, you've got to bring me something that's going to change my life and, give me something to treat the patients. I just can't keep treating the people like this. And so that prayer got answered when Annette and stuff like that. And so I was on the patch for about 12 days. And I woke up about 4:30 in the morning. I remember this. I said, I feel like I've got a miracle. I've got more energy, more mental clarity, more stamina, more strength than I probably had in 25 years. And from then on, pretty much I was able to wean myself off most of the medicine I was on. Unfortunately, at that point, labs were completely normal. And so along with that, I've continued the patch. I don't get any treatment for the leukemia. The leukemia is pretty much, control right now. And I just feel the best I've ever felt. I've seen amazing results too in my patients. Greg described all his. I mean, there's things like, neuropathy. There's things like, kidney disease and stuff like that I don't have a solution for. I'm a doctor. I don't like to throw a bunch of medicine at it, but that's what traditional medicine does. And I've been able to wean people off medicine, be able to see them, change their lives. But the thing is, even if you're not seeing, I mean, at 12 days, if I had got no results, I realized that the stem cell activation is working in the background, and the worst thing you can do is stop it. And I can tell you right now, as I sit here today, I have no intention of ever stopping the x39 patch.
It starts to reset about 4,000 genes, which, like, what else does that? You can take supplements, you can take this and that, but those supplements only do certain things. This resets genes in 24 hours. It starts. So within 6 weeks, the collagen starts, your brain starts to clear. Within 2 to 3 months, that's when the internal body changes. So a lot of people may not see the change right away. Some people, days. How old are you? Oh, you're 50. How long do you think it took you to get this way? Because our body does not tell us symptoms until way after. It only processes a certain amount